The cover of the New York Post today. Firing blanks, empty sheets of paper become symbol of outrage in China. The White House defending its soft stance this way.
We've made it clear, Peter, that a lockdown is not a policy that we're going to support here. Obviously, there are people in China that have concerns about that, and they're protesting that, and we believe they should be able to do that peacefully.
Tammy Bruce, Fox News contributor, host of Get Tammy Bruce on Fox Nation. Admiral Kirby there with some interesting words about how we won't tolerate lockdowns.
Yeah, that's right. This softness of this approach, and they're kind of mitigating the words, it's like leaving a nickel for a tip. That makes a statement. It tells the Chinese Communist Party that we're afraid of you. And this is as much as we can muster. It would have been better, frankly, to have said nothing, because then people can use their imagination about the big bad America that's not going to put up with this crap. But we, of course, have gone past that with Afghanistan. Even with Afghanistan, women now, of course, are being tortured and held back from school and locked in their homes. Iran and what they're doing in the streets to women there, with who are protesters as well. And these people have had to come up and protest because these tyrants have really burdened them even more, because they know the White House is a paper tiger. So this is our problem. We can't run the world, but my goodness, you can at least stand up and, issue some kind of stern strength. But that would have had to have started from the beginning.
Well, look, our policy, whatever the foreign doctrine is on China from this White House, is so muddled at this point, you can't even see it through the blurred lines.
That's the point.
On one day saying, oh, no, we'll fight for Taiwan. That's never been our policy.
That's
and then
right.
he says, no, we're a one China policy. When you can't get that simplistic straight for whatever reason, I don't know if it's his memory, I don't know what it is, or he doesn't know his own policy. How would you then advocate for people? And you're right, this is happening for different reasons in Iran, with people in the streets fighting and risking death and punishment.
And
for
we're
freedom
seeing
there.
Those videos you showed, right? We're seeing just a drop of what's going on in that country.
100%.
We have no real idea in all these countries what's going on. And this vague, confused response to China speaks to the rest of the world as well. It reinforces this. So this is going to be a bad time for innocent, decent people around the world for as long as Biden's in the White House.
I want to get this in, because I've long said that when you don't stand strong, when you don't let a bully, an enemy, know who you are in the room, even if you can't save every person in China, if you don't stand strong and don't represent America with that strength, that your enemy will turn and do things you might not predict.
That's right.
And you know where they're landing? Look at this. A Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson tweeted this morning, the price of freedom in the U.S., 1 million COVID deaths, 40,000 gun deaths per year, 622,000 fentanyl deaths in 2021 alone. The American people deserve something far better than that. What we want is to protect our people's lives and ensure them a better life. Dripping, that is, with hypocrisy and irony, but hello.
Orwell couldn't have written it better, right? And the fentanyl, thanks to China. Sending these ingredients to Mexico, moving it into this country. COVID, what they allowed with flights when they knew what was happening in and out of that country. That is the epitome of the kind of tyranny that now the Chinese people face and that the world faces. You notice she had freedom in quotes.
I saw it.
So for them, freedom is being literally soldered into your house.
Horrible.
So that you can die during a fire, because the government knows best. I'm writing a book about the use of fear to control society. This is the epitome. It's like, we know what's best for you. You have no idea. Freedom is for you to die alone in your apartment building.
But what a thumb in the face of America. Just putting it right in there.
That's right.
Don't preach to us about what freedom looks like, in quotes.
Amazing. And to mention fentanyl, my goodness, are they bold?
Oh.
Thanks, Joe Biden.
Speaking of COVID.
Yes, ma'am.
The man in charge of the nation's safety and well-being when we needed it most, Dr. Anthony Fauci, has a memory about COVID that's so bad, maybe he should stay silent. You know, he won't be. Dr. Fauci was deposed last week in a lawsuit filed by 2 Republican attorneys general accusing Biden's team of colluding with big tech to censor the narrative on COVID. I got some of those stickers, putting out information on things, and they would sticker me on Twitter and had the science right there in the tweet. In a recent closed-door deposition, those attorneys general say Fauci said he's forgotten much of his work advising Presidents Trump and Biden.
For a guy that proclaimed to be he was the science and this all-knowing being, it turns out his middle name was I don't recall. So we got a lot of that.
Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry says, here's a quote, "I think that the public is going to be shocked as to how much Dr. Fauci cannot recall some of the most important actions and discussions that he had at the time when the pandemic was on our shores. It is certainly disturbing." Tammy.
Well, maybe he should refer to his own book. You know, he's got a book coming out about everything that happened, about his life, about the choices he makes, and suddenly can't remember. We have two choices. Either he is mentally deficient, and he should never have been in the position he was in, or he's lying. And what this ultimately says, either way, either one that it is, he should either be shocked that he can't remember and say so, and say, my God, I'm appalled. I'm sorry, I can't remember all of these things that we did that affected and will affect the next 50 to 100 years. But he says certain things with a smirk. He's been so knowledgeable and so clear. And when you are writing books, as he has been over these last several years, you keep notes. You have diaries. You want to, have a legacy, and that's what we're seeing. I would propose, if he really doesn't remember, then get other people at the HHS, his wife who works there, others who received emails, others who kept diaries, and find out what it is that Dr. Fauci doesn't remember.
Whew. That is right there in with an investigation.
That's right.
This point.
That's right. It has to be.
All right. What you said, that the two choices, mental deficiency or lying.
I think so, yes. Because you do remember. If you don't remember things, we've all had that happen to us. You're a little stunned, and you want to get back. You're testifying.
Well, you're
you bring
embarrassed.
your notes. You're embarrassed. You bring your notes. You bring your diaries. And if you are fading, you say, "Forgive me, doctor, but I'm having some memory issues."
Some fade. He's 81.
And
38 years on the job.
He knows. He knows what he's doing.
He retires in December. Tammy Bruce, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I can't wait to read your book
Thank
when
you.
you finish writing it.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.